Welcome everybody. Melting Heart Boutique is sponsoring this particular segment. I welcome Christine Salter. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Now, this isn't scripted, everybody. This is just organic questions. We're coming together to share. And so, Christine and I just met 2 days ago, and we connected, and I invited her to be here, and she accepted my invitation. How wonderful is that? So, Christine, tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, well, I am so excited to be here. It's fun because my path keeps shifting and changing, and I've decided, okay, universe, I'm ready to step out in a much bigger way. I'm getting goosebumps as I talk about it. So it's funny to see how things have just, in a few quick days, have come together. So I'm Christine Salter. My purpose and my passion in life is I'm really helping people find clarity and peace in their life. And so I have some tools that I use to do that, and I'm a psychic medium. And so I communicate with angels. And so if somebody's lost, confused, they are trying to find their purpose, it's like the rug has been pulled out from under them, I'm a good resource to come to, because we can start picking through the pieces and finding out what is that inner reason, what's the spiritual reason why you're having the experiences that you're having. And so when you get that, you can actually get your courage back, get your faith back, and start moving forward and create the life that you're intended to live. So that's one of the things that I really love to do. So it's part coaching, it's part messages, and it's just all very organic, and it's all guided by the angels. So what is it that you need? Your angels know, and they'll help you get that information. So one of the other things that I love to do is that I'm a medium. And so people come to me, of course, usually when they have lost a loved one. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of grief, there's unanswered questions, and so they'll come to me when they're really looking, again, to get that peace and that clarity of what has happened. And so why is their loved one passed? What happened to them? I've done murder investigations, I've done different things for people, just because we're all looking for a peaceful life, I believe, and especially those that are awakened and aware and on their spiritual path. And so to get those answers, it makes it easier to accept, so you can actually, again, start moving forward. So many people feel so very stuck in their lives, and especially now, because we're going through so many energy shifts. We're coming into an awakening period in life on the earth, so the vibration is raising, and it's causing a lot of chaos. I'm getting goosebumps. And so what's happening is the vibration of the energy is raising, and what used to work doesn't work anymore. And so the rug's been pulled out from a lot of people. They've lost their finances, they've lost their house, their jobs are shifting, they're having this inner desire to really follow their purpose. Like, what am I here to do? It's like the alarm clock has gone off, and it's time to wake up and move forward. Gosh, that's such a So
before you go on, Christine,
okay, yes.
So let's say you communicate with angels.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to ask you 2 questions. Maybe
Okay.
you can answer both of them all in one.
Okay.
You say you communicate with angels. How do you do that? And when you say you get goosebumps, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Because maybe some of our viewers are experiencing these kinds of things and they don't know. Why am I getting goosebumps? Why is this happening? Or why do I keep hearing this little voice? Is it my inner voice? Is it my intuition? So clarify that for everybody, please.
Okay, sure. So, all right, angels, you got that. So I started working with angels in 2004. So a little bit more of my background. I'm a massage therapist. I went to school in 2001. I have not always been psychic. Mine has developed over time. As I went into the healing field, I started seeing things, and so my third eye opened up, my clairvoyance, and it's just I started feeling things, and so it's been a progression. And so something that is part of my mission to share with people is, if you haven't always been psychic your whole life, or you haven't had experiences, or maybe you're starting to have experiences, it's a normal awakening process. And just because you haven't always seen your dead grandma since you were 3 doesn't mean you don't have this in you. Everybody has it, and it's important to wake it up and really start trusting it. And so I connected with the angels in 2004. I have always been on a spiritual path, well, since 1987, which is an interesting year. We had another energetic awakening here on the planet. And so I didn't have the religion to hold me back to everything. And so 2004 rolled around, and I got acquainted with the angels. And a long story short, I was given a deck of oracle cards. And I knew that that was a message from Spirit. You need to start using these. So I started learning to use oracle cards and how to read and how to use my intuition. And I found some great books that I really love just to understand what is really going on and how do I improve this? How do I really make this work for me? And so that's when my journey with the angels started, was 2004. So do I talk to angels? Yes, I talk to my guides, I talk to my angels. How do I know it's the angels? I have the intention to connect with them, number one. So if you want to connect with your guides or your angels, have the intention. Angels, I would like to connect with you. I'd like to invite you into my life, start working with you. They'll start giving you signs, and so you have to be on the lookout for, do you start seeing a feather in a weird place and it doesn't make any sense? Like, okay, I believe it was you in our conversation the other day. You walked in the bathroom and there was a feather in the bathroom. There's no feathers in the house. Where the heck did this come from?
First, a friend of mine found a feather in my bathroom, and then I think it was a day or two later, I found one, and exactly, that was like, how did this get in here?
Right, and there's no logical explanation, right? So, let me stop for a second. So connecting with the angels, you need to be looking for signs. They love to give you messages on license plate, the angel number 444. If you start seeing that everywhere, your angels are trying to get your attention. They speak with you through your intuition. So seeing, feeling, hearing, and knowing is the basic, what we call declares. And you may feel, so we're talking about me getting goosebumps. That's always my confirmation that I'm onto something big, or I'm getting it. I'm really getting it. Of course, here comes goosebumps again. So for me, it's a confirmation, and I think when I'm working with people, they see I'm getting goosebumps, then it kind of spreads, and everybody else gets goosebumps, and you realize, oh gosh, we're really on to something here. How do you get face goosebumps? I don't know, but I get them. So. Some ways that you can recognize the angels are around you. You may feel somebody touch you. You may feel like you have little tinglies on your head. Sometimes it feels like somebody might touch your shoulder. So our main clair that people have is clairsentience, and that is clear feeling. And I believe that that's the case because it's hard to push away feeling. If you have a knot in your stomach and you feel like, oh, I really shouldn't do this, it's really hard to ignore versus getting a picture in your head of you doing something else, or a thought, maybe I shouldn't do this. And so it's more of a concrete thing, I believe. That's why we feel. I see, I hear, I feel, I get knowing, because I've been working with mine for so long, and I, of course, do it professionally, and so mine is pretty clear and pretty strong. But if you're starting out, get a divine guidance journal is what I call it. So start writing down. If you think you're getting guidance, write it down. I saw a license plate and it said 444. I don't know what this means. I got the feeling maybe I should look for a different job. I got the feeling that a friend was going to call me. Write it down. And then write down what's happening. So keeping track. And the reason that I recommend that is because we have the ego. And the ego is the part of us that tries to keep us small. And the ego is the one who, in my opinion, tries to shut down the intuition. So you'll get an intuitive hit and you go, oh no, and you'll ignore it, and then it'll come again, and you'll ignore it, and the ego's like, I'm just making this up, you're crazy, that's a fun word, you're crazy. And so the ego is just trying to really kind of block that, and you have to learn to recognize, that was my ego, and I know it, and you can just push it aside. When you start getting messages that come to you repetitively, so 3 times in 3 different ways, somebody talks about it at the restaurant, you turn on the TV and like, oh look, they're talking about something that you're wanting guidance about, so you just send a thought out. That's how you communicate with them. Send a thought out, they get the message, and then it'll start coming back to you in different ways. So you do have to be on the lookout for it. You can be blind to it if you choose, but if you really just tune in and pay attention and looking, you have to look for the signs, you'll start to see, oh my gosh, they've been talking to me this whole entire time. I've never been disconnected. They've always been with me.
That's very interesting because as I was really, really young, there was a voice in me that spoke to me about that's wrong, this is right, do this, do that. I also had another voice that came from somewhere else, a little bit more distant, and would kind of dictate what I should do and kind of guide me. And it was kind of persistent.
Mm-hmm.
And from a very young age, I would start to see things, and I also started to kind of heal my kids without, like, I wouldn't take them to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And I would kind of just pull energy. I had no idea what Reiki was, what energy work was. Matter of fact, like you said, I thought I was like a little crazy. So I could imagine that a lot of people experience something like this and then they start feeling like I must be nuts. That's what I felt.
Right.
And so thank you for that explanation. Thank you for letting us know how we can discern the two different voices.
Yeah, if I could just add a little bit
Yes,
to the discernment,
absolutely.
because I think that's such a huge piece when it comes to how do I use my intuition? Because that ego does try, you know, if you sit down and you're like, okay, I just want to see if I can get some messages. All of a sudden you have laundry to do, you got really tired, there's something else, a child comes in and disrupts it. And so the way to know that you're getting divine guidance or angelic or guides or God or whatever word you're comfortable with is that it is repetitive. And it's going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming until you say, okay, I give up. I'm going to take a step. And then you get the next one, and then you'll get the next one. And so it's just a repetitive thing coming your way until you take that next step. You're not going to see the Emerald City on the road to Oz. They're not going to show you your entire life purpose and where you're going to end up, because I think that would scare a lot of people, and they would just go, oh, no, I can't do that. So you get the next step, and then the next step. Now, ego guidance. That's the one that makes you feel crazy. Mm-hmm. So your ego is going to say, I'm going to go to work here. And then a couple days later, you feel like, no, I think I need to go to school. And a couple days later, you get drawn in another way. And nothing ever, it's like this, it's like a dog chasing its tail. And so ego guidance is like a dog chasing its tail. It tends to be heavier. It can be in a negative tone, and depending, I believe, on where you're at in your spiritual growth and how you speak to yourself, that ego voice can be very negative, but it doesn't actually ever get you anywhere, and it changes all the time. So those are the things to be on the lookout for when you know you're getting guidance.
So, of course, you know how all this started.
Yes.
I was tapped, literally, and I was told, do a YouTube segment and share. And everybody who knows me knows that this is not what I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable sharing one-on-one, but it was literally like that. I kept getting this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And I was even arguing into a point. We talked about that. And like, seriously? Like, no, yes, do it. And I thought, oh my gosh, being the organizer that I am, oh yeah, I can get so-and-so and so-and-so, and she can interview. And I kept getting this thing, no. You're the one. And yes, you can have guest interviewers. This is your thing. And so it was persistent. And it was persistent until I said, okay. And then I let it flow. And then, like you said, it was like I don't even want to think about the details. And then everything just kind of came together. Our camera woman came together, Juanita Ventura, which we will be interviewing in a few weeks. And she was always there. And I was actually kind of demanding and asking, well, I'm doing my 20%. We're guaranteed that if we do our 20, you'll do 80% of the work. So we don't have a camera woman. We don't have a video camera. And all along, my dear friend Juanita was there. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't see her until she actually revealed herself and said, I love to do that. And I said, oh my gosh, you were right. Like, she was always there. And so sometimes we fail to see those messages, right? So you were talking about you see and hear and feel. Do you see the angels? Do you see them? How do they show up for you?
So generally for me, the angels show up as a feeling. So I work with Archangel Michael, and so Archangel Michael is I kind of call him a master angel. He is in charge of life purpose, but he gives you courage, he gives you protection, he helps with healing, cuts those energetic cords that are keeping you stuck to things that no longer serve you. And so he's my go-to angel, and his color is like an indigo blue. So if I'm doing something, and I'm not always on, I'm not always paying attention to everything, because I have a life. I have 2 kids, so I don't live my world wide open with my antenna picking up everything and everybody. I'm not interested in living that way. So I have to stop and tune in. And so sometimes for me to see Archangel Michael, his energy is blue. So I may be doing dishes and I see a blue little light will pop up and I'm like, oh, someone's here. I guess I better stop, ask, tune in, pay attention. I will see what they call angel sparkles, or I guess what I call angel sparkles, and little white lights that might sparkle. But angels, they all have a different aura. We have an aura, it's a specific color. And so you may see a blue or maybe green because Archangel Raphael is with you. So it's good to learn about the angels. It's good to learn who is available to help you make your life better. I do want to share a fun story about the angels real quick, because I see color. I don't necessarily see a physical person standing there. I haven't had that experience yet. I'm excited because bring it. That would be great. But I was sleeping one night, and before I go to bed, a lot of times I'll ask for angels to protect my house and watch over me while I'm sleeping. And so I woke up one night, and in the hallway was a soft light because I have small children, and so there was a night light on, and my third eye tends to be wide open at night. And I woke up, and I looked up, and it was so cool because I had 2 little angels, and they were about this big, and they were circling over my bed, and I looked up at them and I thought, oh my gosh, like I've never seen angels before. And I knew that I wasn't making it up, because I would have imagined they were much bigger, and they were just like these 2 little cherubs, and one turned and it looked at me like, oh, she's awake, and then I was right back asleep. So with my physical eyes, that's my experience in seeing angels. But I get messages, I'm getting goosebumps again. I get messages, I know, I have that knowing that they're with me, and I've been working with them for so long that it's just part of my path, and sharing their message and helping other people to connect with the angels.
That's awesome. And I have to ask you, where are you going with this? What is your plan? Where are you headed? Are they revealing this to you?
Oh.
What's going on? What's in the works? I'm excited to know.
So I have finally decided I am willing to step into my purpose in a big way. And I've been holding myself back, and I've been playing small, like so many of us are, yes, right? So I just decided, why not? Let's see what happens. I mean, if I've set this purpose up, and I'm a teacher, and I know that's what I'm here to do. So I know that I have seen myself on a large stage, and that I'm an author, and that I have things to write and to share. And so my goal is to help people reconnect with themselves, heal that emotional trauma and baggage that they're carrying around, and then reconnect themselves to spirit. And so that's what I'm here to do. So bringing peace and joy and helping people, we don't have to struggle. So I've had a life of struggle, and I'm learning that we don't have to struggle. And as I learn it just as fast as I learn it, I want to share that with other people, because my life is starting to flow so much better, and things are actually getting easier. Like, you start manifesting and working with manifesting, and it's coming quick. So I believe that I was told a long time ago, you have a TV following you. So it's funny, and I hadn't shared with everybody this morning, that as this has come together in the last few days, I just met Rosie 2 days ago. We sat down, we talked for 3 hours like we've been best friends forever, and talked about, she says, are you available in the morning to come? And I was like, sure, like, I don't know what that's about. And she's like, oh, here, let me tell you. Just kind of afraid to ask me to show up because you didn't know how this was going to work out. So I'm just kind of laughing how it's all come together. So I do see myself on TV teaching and sharing what I've learned as a spiritual teacher and healer with others. So do I have the entire big picture? I'm sure that I don't, because I'm being pushed and squeezed. We talked about like birthing a new life. You get pressure and pressure, and things get harder until you actually like, okay, I'll move forward. And so unfortunately, I still have some of those traits where I'm just like dragging my feet a little bit. It's like, I trust you, but am I not trusting myself? Have I not healed the things I need to heal to step out in a bigger way? And so I really see myself out on the world stage. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm okay with that. because I'm here for the journey. I'm learning to enjoy myself. I'm learning that joy is such an important part of life that I've never made an important piece. So I'm searching it out, I'm opening myself up, I'm allowing new people to come into my life, and it is amazing when you just say yes to life, how fast things can shift. So what is it going to look like when I'm 90 and I look back? I don't know, but I know that I've helped a lot of people, and that's the most important thing to me.
That is amazing. I respect you. I just met you, but I feel the same way. I feel like I've known you for years. It's just such a comfortable, we shared so much about how we talk to, I was saying it or they, because I really hadn't not connected with angels until very recently. So I still kind of call them it, and it was kind of funny to Christine for me to call it it. And we had a little experience, and I am just very grateful to be in the same space. And I can't wait to see your books on the shelf, and I can't wait to see you on TV. And I know all that magic is going to happen. Like you say, you're getting it straight from the angels. So we know it's going to happen. We have that certainty. And do we drag our feet? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We drag our feet, you know.
So you're learning a faith walk, and that
Absolutely.
is our, and my new word that I love is looking at the world through spirit eyes.
Oh.
So looking for the underlying truths of things, because
that.
once you get that, you get the message, you get the lesson, and then you can move forward. So I appreciate you having me here today. I really enjoyed getting to share what I love to do and what my passion and my purpose is. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Fabulous. And we are going to be having you here.
Yes, absolutely.
So teaching
absolutely.
something, we don't know what it is yet,
It's not
but
clear yet.
you know, we are clear that spirit, the angels, or how I usually call it, put us together for a bigger purpose.
Right.
All of us here present, we were put together for a big purpose, and we talked about playing small.
Right.
Okay, and we're done playing small.
That's right.
We're going to start playing big, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you, everybody. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more about these amazing women that are coming into my life, some of which have already been here for a long time. So please stay tuned and connected.